Welcome to pitch side once again. Now it's the home side playing two back-to-back games. Yesterday was an absolute thriller against Karachi Kings. I'm sure everybody really enjoyed it. Peshawar Zalmi won their last game in Multan, so they'll have some kind of confidence going into this one. But all in all, it's an extremely important game for Lahore Qalandars. And the bad news for them is that Rauf is out. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks because he's dislocated his shoulder. So that's a huge blow for them, because just when it looked like he's picking up rhythm, he's gone out. Now, to talk us through, I've got Marina Iqbal and Dominic Coke. Marina, huge blow losing Rauf for Lahore Qalandars?
Well, definitely, no doubt about it. I think apart from that, he had a good last game. He was struggling apart from that. But I think overall, when you look at Lahore's bowling, they were struggling altogether. But that was probably the best figures he had. He bowled 4 overs, gave away 22 runs, and this was the injury. It's going to be a big blow for Lahore, because he was impeccable in line and length, and we talk about having an effect, an impact in terms of bowling. I think he was getting that momentum. He was getting Lahore back on track probably for everyone. He gave the blueprint as to where they should be bowling, and I think now they have a huge gap to fill.
Yeah, what about his bowling, Marina? I mean, just yesterday we were talking about the fact that, you know, he needs to pick his rhythm somehow, get into the mix of things, get back to being his usual best. And we saw glimpses of that yesterday.
Yeah, I think early on he was trying too hard, just focusing on pace, and he wanted to prove himself. But when you look at this pitch map, you can understand the clarity. He knew exactly where he was pitching the ball, hard length, and that's exactly where he's the most lethal bowler when coming up. And the best thing for Shaheen, I think, he actually gave him a lot of cushion. He bowled after the power play, and that gave him a lot of confidence, and he came up and he had the clarity. He wasn't thinking about any runs. He knew exactly where to come and pitch and hit that length, and that's why within the stumps there was no problem for him.
You can just tell he was screaming in pain just from the visuals that we saw, Koki, that it never looked good.
And like Marina said, it was an excellent spell, one we've been waiting for, because it was the length, the line. He was up against Pollard, he was up against Shoaib Malik, and then when he goes down, I know you mentioned it's 4 to 6 weeks. I just hope, touch wood, that it is 4 to 6 weeks, because it's his bowling arm. I hope it does settle down, because it's obviously imperative for him, imperative for the Qalandars, and I think also imperative for Pakistan cricket that this man comes back stronger and obviously a lot fitter and be able to produce like he did last night.
Yeah, it's just one of those things when you talk about Rauf, Lahore Qalandars. The Pakistan side will be looking to get him back for the T20 World Cup. Whether he'll be fit is the real question. Injury concerns for Lahore Qalandars. Remember, the toss has already happened. And just a quick reminder on what happened. Qalandars won the toss and they decided to bowl first. They've got an opportunity yet again to reverse their fortunes. They are up against Babar Azam's side, who's been trying to get into some kind of form in this tournament. So a lot of questions for Lahore Qalandars, but Peshawar Zalmi will be batting first, with Saim Ayub opening at the top with Babar Azam.
Well, that's a good opening pair. I think Saim, obviously, he clicked here on this surface, had a little bit of trouble playing in Multan, but he knows that he has an important role to play. Babar, I mean, again, taking all the responsibility. People need to step in, especially Powell. He did chip in, but when you look at the lineup, there are more capable batters who need to step up and be more supportive in terms of having Babar out there in the middle and giving some support to post a good total.
A couple of things. Obviously, I know we're going to go on to the other team now, unchanged. And also Babar Azam wanted to bat first, so that's important for their team. For this team, obviously 2 force changes because of 2 injuries. We've seen obviously 1 injury that was a hope for Rauf is okay. Obviously then comes in Mohammed Khan Jr. for his debut. He'd already played for the Zalmi, so he's playing against the Zalmi for the Qalandars. And George Linde, who has got a hand injury. You remember the ball was hit really hard down to him. I think it was Pollard, hit right the way down the ground. He gets one on the hand and actually goes off straight away. So he's out as well. And in comes Carlos Brathwaite, who obviously is a very fine replacement, but not good news that they've got 2 injuries on the back of needing a desperate win. You know, they keep saying, when do they need to win? Tonight. Qalandars don't win tonight. I'm not saying they're out, because mathematically they're not out, but they've got to start winning. Tonight is the night.
They've got some positives though. When you look at that lineup, bowling lineup, they've missed out on Rauf. But nobody beats Zaman Khan in the kind of skill he brings to the table, Marina.
I mean, he's all sorted, and whenever, as a batter I'm speaking, whenever you're up with Zaman Khan, you cannot guess what he's doing because he has a lot of skills under his sleeves, and you might be thinking it's just a short one coming in, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he'll nail that Yorker, and it's very hard having that slingy action, and it tails away and then gets back in. So he doesn't give you a lot of time bowling with that pace. So I think he's a brilliant utility as a captain to have. As Zaman Khan, you can give him the new ball, you can use him in the middle overs and death bowling. It's very hard to put him away.
We've got somebody in our commentary box who bowled Yorkers at will in Wakar Yunus, and another man called, obviously, Wasim Akram as well, who used to bowl it. He's now getting a trademark, Zaman Khan, of bowling Yorkers, but also that slower Yorker as well. So that's going to be great to see tonight. The other thing I want to pick up on is the two captains, head-to-head. A lot of talk about, obviously, Shaheen Shah Afridi and whether he can get his pace back or whether he's up there. You see him constantly working. He's working on his bowling action all the time, and you see him doing that, and we hope that he can get back to something that we've seen for a long period in his career, up against somebody, Babar Azam, who knows how to put innings together. Let's face it, he makes it look simple. He increased his strike rate last year, didn't he, after a little bit of criticism, and I think it was quite right. And I think what you're seeing now is a Babar Azam who can take games away from you. So I'm looking forward to this matchup.
That's definitely a matchup that we all looking forward to, Marina. I mean, in terms of the score then, I mean, what are we looking at from Peshawar Zalmi? Because remember, yesterday was a close one. We've seen some high-scoring games. What's a comfortable score for Zalmi?
Well, now the surfaces are being reused, so you have to adjust accordingly. And I think anything around 160 to 170 would be enough on this surface because it gets lower and lower in the second innings.
Rauf Powell, you know, another guy in that Zalmi side. They need to watch out for him. We saw what Kyron Pollard did yesterday, Koki. These, you know, West Indians, we know that they've got a lot of power.
Well, he got 23 from 11 deliveries in that win against the Multan Sultans, so he can take games away from you. That's what you want. That's what you want from overseas players, is to come in and actually take the game away from the opposition. That's what this man can do. We've seen it last night with Kyron Pollard. Just hope this goes all the way like it did last night. We've seen some great games so far. Let's go to a last ball classic.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Marina and Koki. We've got a brilliant game on our hands today. It's Qalandars versus Peshawar Zalmi. Qalandars have a chance to change their fortunes altogether and really redeem themselves. A couple of changes, an injury blow, a lot of masala as always in the HBL PSL. We'll see you guys on the other side.